Hey Mel.
Hi, Brenda. Oh my God, look at it. Hi, Billy. How you doing?
And of course Billy got us some drinks.
All right, Billy. You got the quarantini ready? I'm hype. I'm
Yeah,
hype.
right.
That's
That's the way it is.
How
the
are
way it
you?
should be. I am doing okay. A little bit kind of like energy shot for the past 2 days, but
Mhm.
I'm working through it. Gonna get through it.
Right.
So we're doing good today. So how you guys have been so far? How's the COVID-19 treat you guys?
We're good. We're hanging in there, trying
Yeah.
to stay safe, trying to stay home. But Billy is still going to work, so he's putting me at risk every day.
Nah,
Oh my God. Billy, I'm gonna need you to be careful out there. Be
nah, it's
safe.
work. But no. Thankfully, with the event industry, like for both of us, a lot of our events got postponed. So, but with catering, we've been able to still kind of been pretty successful, like with Passover and with Easter that just went by. So that's the type of busy, so like still trying to be there for the community, be there for traditions, be there for everybody, the same way you're being here for planning the wedding. So that's what's really
Thank you. Thank you, my darling.
the
Well,
big and that.
let's let's start off on a good road. So welcome everybody to a live with Mel. We are here with Quarantine Live Chat. Today you are meeting my past couple, Billy and Brenda, the Mr. and Mrs. Francois, who got married back in hold up. Am I froze? Are they froze? We back on track? Okay. Why is my screen looking like it went freezing over here? Oh wait, something happened. We freezing. We freezing now. Hold on. I'm back in, people. Yeah. Brenda gotta come back in. Give her a minute, people. I don't know. We've been having some technical difficulty. You see, I'm tongue tied too. What the hell did I just say? Technical don't laugh at me, people. Um, let me see. They're coming back in. All right, give us a second. All right, 1 minute, guys, as they chime back in. I think they were having some connection problems. There she go. All right, let's try this again. All right, let's hope not. We didn't get any problems again.
I don't know
All
what
right,
happened.
it probably was a connection issue. Network. What we gonna do? All
Yeah,
right, so we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry for the little glitch and the technical difficulties. But as we were saying, we are here with Mr. and Mrs. Francois, Billy and Brenda, who are one of my past beautiful couple wedding that I've done back in 2018.
yeah.
2018. I can't believe it.
Wow. So we went back. I really wanted to take it all the way back to really give you guys the opportunity to share some of your experience during the planning process for those that are out here newly engaged that are looking into having a wedding planner, and also give them some advice as to what to do in this process as a couple, communication wise, especially now that we are like quarantined in and you're with your partner probably 24/7 if you're working from home together. We're going to talk about how to keep the sanity and remain engaged. Let's talk about that. I'm joking about that, but anyway. But let's hope that we are getting to know each other a little bit better, and also the communication is there. So before we start, I'm gonna have Billy and Brenda give us a little intro about them, how they met, and then we'll go into how they met me, Melissa Brown.
Yes. Well, I'm Brenda Francois,
And I'm Billy.
and we have been married for almost 2 years now. We'll be at our 2 year mark on July 28th.
Yes.
We actually met through actually one of my maid of honor. She introduced us. She kind of like did like a matchmaker situation, which I was completely opposed initially, to be honest. I didn't want to be match made or anything of that nature, but she just would say things like, "Oh my gosh," because she is in a relationship with one of his friends. So
Right.
if it wasn't for her, we would probably never have crossed paths. And
Wow.
she was just like, well, when he speaks, I think of you, and when you speak, I think of him. He coerced to me,
Yeah, Jude, like
to shout out to Juveline, to causing us to cross paths. And
Mm-hmm.
after our first date, it was history from there. We would be on the phone for like 4 hours at a time. There was 1 week in the span that Billy dropped me, and we didn't speak for 1 week.
She always want to tell this story.
What? He dropped you? I never heard this story.
But
he dropped me. I was making him crazy, and he was sick of me, and he dropped me. And we were praying and fasting in that time, and in some way we ended up back together. I
want to hear Billy tell it. Billy's like, I'm gonna tell you one story.
After that time, we were going strong. So just for sake of timeline, we met in August of 2016, and then we were dating in January of 2017, and engaged by September of 2017. Yeah. Then married by July of 2018.
Yeah, it was no joke. Billy, you were like, I'm on it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In January, when he asked me to be his girlfriend, he was like, Brenda, blah, 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 I love you, and I'd love for us to, blah, blah, blah. And when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I said yes, whatever. And then he was like, we're about to go back into his house because we went on a walk. And then he stopped me and he was like, I need you to know that I'm asking you this because I can be your wife. If you don't see that, if you don't want to be married or you don't see me as your future husband, take your answer back. Because I know what you want, and that means I see you as my future wife. And I was like,
not just dating just because.
All right, Billy. See what I'm talking about. That's why I love you, man. You keep it real, Billy.
Yeah, that's my side.
Not
you can.
Great, of course, a part of me dropped for her, but definitely, like, that is how the story went. Like, we talked all the time. When I laid eyes on her, this is what I wanted. So, and that's what happened. So, definitely.
That's awesome, guys. It's beautiful because ever since we've met, you guys' spirit has been one that not only myself has been drawn to, but everybody has been drawn to you guys. Even our vendors. I know Mimi on here, Sandra. Everybody always asks, how's Billy and Brenda? And I was like, they are doing great. Now and then I'll chime in. I hear from Billy. I hear from Brenda. I see Billy because we'll have wedding and events at Temple. And it's always great. And then to finally have you guys also become like a family knit. When I have my events, I'm always inviting you guys. And when you guys come over, it's just like one big family gathering. And I always enjoy just having you guys around.
Big time.
What somebody said, oh yeah. It's always really a blessing to have you both. And you guys have definitely an example. That's why I wanted you guys to be my first guest on the show to really talk about it. So let's go into the backstory about how you and I met. So, Brenda, want to tell it? Tell the story, Brenda.
This kind of goes, and I have.
I'm hitting the earpods.
But this goes into my do's and don'ts that I have prepared. And one of my don'ts is don't wait until last minute. So what happened was, like I mentioned, engaged in September of 2017. And I'm not sure if I was in just engagement bliss, but we didn't necessarily start planning until like December, January-ish, and now there's 7 months left. So at that point, it's kind of like I kind of thought I had it under control because I like to be in control, and I just, I took my notes and I have my Pinterest boards, and I just thought, but I don't need any help, whatever. So I kind of, that was abruptly changed.
Right.
To be transparent, initially in like December, January-ish, I hired a planner. That's not. And at the time, remember, it's getting abrupt, and I'm just feeling like I have to do things or whatever. And me being the type of person that I am, I have a certain expectation of things. Right. And why I hired a planner was because I know that I don't have time, or I just kind of want to enjoy my engagement process as me, Billy and I growing to inch towards marriage and not just a wedding. And I just had certain expectations. And unfortunately, when I did hire another planner, it just didn't work out. There was just so much more that was still on my plate. I was still doing certain things. And that's just not what I was looking for at the time. So that takes us to like February, March-ish. And now I'm like frantically doing research, frantically looking for another planner. I had to let the previous one go.
How many months was that away from our?
That's like.
So we got
like
Melissa 6
5
months.
Yeah, I believe you guys came in like about 5-6 months before your wedding. Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is good.
Yeah, so it's just like crazy.
She's
so
good.
frantically emailing different people, looking for different people, and I'll never forget our first experience. So first of all, Melissa was very responsive. So I don't remember how I reached out, if it was via Instagram or your website, whatever it was.
Right.
I response like less than an hour, I believe. I don't remember, but I know it was quick. And then at the time, I worked for a special events department, and it was the peak of fundraiser season. So I was really busy, really difficult for me to go anywhere other than where I was. And I worked in Pompano at the time, and Alyssa was like, listen, what time do you have lunch? I'll come to you. Right. I'll take you for lunch. And I'm like, excuse me. And with my previous search, I just didn't have that experience. When we got to the cafe, right, Melissa was waiting for me.
I was.
Blown away. Mel had her phone, and I'll never forget, had her tablet, and it was like a slideshow of all her previous work, and there was a pen waiting for me, and there was like a beverage for me, and I'm just like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that Billy wasn't there. Even before, honestly, before you even said anything, I was like, this is it. Just because this was the energy, the level of preparation that I was looking for. And just not being intimidated by the time, and just being really honest with me from the beginning. I was so excited after that first meeting. I just had to play the poker face, like, I'll let you know. I have to talk.
Oh yeah, trust me. She tried to keep that poker face the whole time, Billy. I mean, we definitely connected, and I remember when we were going through everything, and you were giving me the story. What really clicked too is when you started telling me about your experience with the other planner. I was like, what? You know, I kept on like, okay, I don't really talk ill about anything or anyone, especially in this industry. But I was just like very thrown back by what you were experiencing and stuff. And I was like, oh no, we can't have this happening. And then when we were like, this is what I'll do for you guys, I literally fell in love with her, and I was like, I got to do something for her. I felt the pain you were going through. I felt the stress you were going through. And I literally was like, I got to do something for Brenda, because she was so sweet. You came in, you laid it down. It wasn't like, oh, you were just mouthing off. You were telling me about your personal experience that made me connect with you on that level. And it was, from there, she put on a picture. She's like, I'm going to let you know, and so on. And I think it was like that week you called me back.
Yeah, I think it was that day later on.
Yeah, I think you came back, and it was like the day or the next day you called me back, and you were like, Mel, we're ready. And I was like, okay. And then we connected from there. We had literally about 5 to 6 months.
It was so amazing because I was literally able to give you an idea of what I want, like what and you literally just brought that all to life in no time. I had me set up, tastings, fittings, this. Everything was ready. Everyone's phone number, what needs to be where. Oh, send me all the first thing that I love that you did that I didn't have before, because like I mentioned, there are some things that I thought I could just do by myself. I'm relatively organized. I like to be in control.
Yes.
So there were some things that were booked before you. And the first thing you wanted before we did anything was send me all your contracts.
Oh, well, I wish I know my brides are on here that can chime in tonight. Yes, she does say that.
Yeah, so it was just a phenomenal experience.
So
you had me at hello.
Thank you, my darling. So one of the great importance that we always like to encourage and really engage brides about the importance of wedding planning. One, we talk about save time, which we were talking about, but right now we were in like a crunch time in a position where we needed to get all our vendors in. We need to get all the decor, all the rentals, everything locked in. We still had to do like a venue walkthrough where we went back and look at the venue and everything. Billy gave it a tour. We got the tour of the church and everything like that. And I had to do the layout and everything. But everything, we kind of like knocked it out. And like when we started looking at all the vendors, I was like, give me your dates and your availability. We went 1, 2, 3, knocked it out in like a week or two. I remember that. And when it came to tasting, you guys went, you had the cake with Mimi. I was in love with Mimi. We did all these different things. It was just really a great flow, because the fact is, once you have somebody that's well known in the industry, it doesn't matter if it's 12 months or if it's 6 months or 8 months, they are prepared to jump on board and do the job, as long as you guys are also available to go ahead and do the job. Because it's all about you being prepared that makes us even more prepared. Because then we're like, you know what I mean? We have to be on the same page when it comes to the planning process. If you guys are ready to go forward and do all of your bookings and everything, we are able to then connect you with all of our vendors. And you got to be open-minded and mindful for all of that. So when we go and give you the sit down, you're trusting us as the planner to do the right thing for you, which is something that you weren't experiencing, Brenda. You weren't able to experience that whole interaction, or Billy, with your previous plan, because there were so many things that were still pending that I was like, oh, we really still waiting on that. And we end up doing it because it wasn't pretty much being communicated across.
Right.
Yeah. So
another do and don't that I have is just don't hold back. You know, it's very, very important. There is no detail that's too minor. There's no, like, literally every single thing that you think that you want, even if it's like a specific, I don't know, color of uplighting, just anything that you think that you want, it's very, very, very important to lay that out to your planner and really you know, make them aware, because oftentimes we see all of these lovely pictures on Pinterest and things of that nature, but we have a budget, you know, and
oh my God, we were just about to talk about that.
About for so much, Mel, is there was something you were able to help me realize, okay, maybe you cannot do this with your guest list and the budget, this is not going to work, but here's what we can do that will get you close to that. It's not like a complete, no, that's impossible, canceled, right. Oh, thank you. So I would just say it's really, really important to always, always, always share as many details as you can, just not to waste time, and just be very specific on what you want, what your expectations are, so we're not wasting any time with any vendor that, you know, so that you're being presented with the vendors that can accommodate.
Exactly. And that's where we're going to touch on budgeting. I know Billy can chime in on this when it comes to even your location at Temple, working in the catering business. Because we talk about this all the time, about how the guest count number plays a big factor on the budget. And I'm glad I have you on here, because you're also in catering, so people know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not crazy. When you got the 150, 250, 300 guests, and you come to us with a budget of, say, 25, and you're like, Melisa, I need to get all of this fabulous decor and this amazing food with this venue, am I being honest to say you're not being realistic, or no? See, they're telling you no.
Yeah.
No, that's like the biggest thing. Like, shameless, if you don't know, my husband Billy, he is actually a director of events for us catering, and luckily we were able to have our wedding at their venue, and they catered our wedding, and it was cuisine was very, very important.
Yes,
so that was important, but it doesn't matter if he's the director or whatever. At the end of the day, when it comes to guest count, it's not even just about the plates.
No.
It's, if the more people you need, the more pieces you need. The more people you have, the more chairs you need.
Yes.
The more have to be printed. More people, a lot. So you can go more.
Yeah, you know, I guess because I didn't even answer the first one, but like Melissa's saying and like Brenda's saying, like first and foremost, you guys can tell my wife is very detail oriented. Just started
Yes.
off, and I'm pride that's watching this right now. You've been thinking about this, dreaming about this your whole life, and just
Yes.
speaking in your own sense. Starting off with getting a wedding planner. Actually, like Melissa, yo, keep in mind, me and Brenda got married like 9 months between the time we got engaged. We lived the 3 months of bliss, and then 6 months later, we're firing a wedding planner, and we're hiring another one. So something that was amazing was I never met Melissa, but I felt like I always knew her before.
Yes.
Brenda never, no doubt, like that Brenda was just stating earlier, her presentation was on point. Her professionalism, like the way she carries herself, the emails, just keeping on track with everything. And then plus, if I had to remember this vividly, like for me, actually, because Brenda was not going to let me not hire Melissa. This is another thing. So you got to know when your future wife knows what she wants. And like for Brenda to like really just have that connection, it really just kind of made it a must to go with her. So when that happened, we went ahead and we hired you. Just moving forward and us getting connected. You want you want a wedding planner that is basically, looking out for your wife's best interest and your pockets at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
And you know that. So I don't know if my wife knew, but every time Melissa was like, yo, all right, I know she wants this, but what can you really do here, Billy? Like, what you working with? Where we at right now? This is the number. All right, I'm gonna look out right here. I'm gonna touch up over here, and that's what you want as the groom. Like so for any of you brides that's looking at that, like definitely if you're trying to pitch Melissa off, have them listen to this guy testify. They look from my testimony to them. Just she's always looking out for the bride and the groom's best interest. She wants us to have a memorable time, but at a reasonable cost, and that is what I always liked. Was always fair. But yeah, like just in the time, but we had to really get down to the part of Melissa kept it real with the numbers. Unfortunately for me, I'm in ministry, so our wedding was 255 guests.
Yes,
now,
it was.
That after we've been married, God has been good to us. Of course, there's no issues, there's no problems, nothing like that. But we realized we spent a lot on a lot of people, And Melissa always tried to keep. There were some things maybe we didn't get because we had that many guests, but hands down, we were able to do everything that we wanted to do for our wedding. And what was something else that Brenda just kept mentioning was, with all the details, which was awesome, was when she always gave Melissa details about the wedding, it was as though like she took it and exceeded that thought, exceeded that idea, like took it to, and that's something else that really made, like, as a groom and choosing, us choosing our wedding plan, important that my wife was throughout the steps, because that we dealt with, like the detail just adding up, like they weren't really paying attention to what she was saying, like feeling where she was coming from. So that was something that was really awesome to know, that with Melissa, she would always empathize with, how important it is to my bride. That's the same way for you guys and for anybody that's watching. It's like when you're choosing a wedding planner, Melissa, you always want to know that, as a groom, I'm telling you, get Melissa, because she's my therapist. She helps me. Even now, like afterwards, I can call her in regards to anything, and she's a great friend and just like, but that's something was really important when we went with you. So yeah,
I appreciate you guys on that, because not only when I talk to my current brides now, and when brides reach out to me for consultation, I always stress the fact that I would love to meet with the groom, because as Billy's been saying, the bride, we as brides, let's say that's as women, we know what we want. But if we don't invite the groom, your husband, your significant other in the planning process, you're creating a little bit of a stress there that you don't want throughout the whole planning process. Throughout the whole planning process should be an actual agreement. It should be something that's fun. You're enjoying it together. You guys should be making proper decisions together. And when you do so, it makes it work, because Billy was saying that sometimes I'll go to Billy and be like, hey, Billy, can this work? It's true, because sometimes Brenda would come to me and show me something, and I'm like, ooh, I got to check with Billy. But, you don't want to tell Brenda off or anything of the sort. But you want to make sure that the communication is going across the line on both ends. Because, yes, he's also financially invested in this, and he's also looking forward to that day to walk down the aisle to see his beautiful bride and everything that he has invested in. So when you are looking for a planner, it's good to have, or you're doing a consultation. We're not talking about the planner, more or less. When you're sitting down and having a consultation with a planner, it's good to also include your fiance in the meeting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard because work schedule and so forth. But as Brenda told you, I came on a lunch break and met up with them. I've done it where I stayed overtime. Brides that are on here, that's my bride, they'll tell you. I'll be at my office. My office supposed to close at 6. I'm at my office till 8, 9 o'clock. I'm not going home because I'm making that proper accommodation, because I really want to meet you guys face to face to get that same kind of experience and connection with you guys to know how it goes. Now, when we're talking about the budget prospect of things, yes, be realistic, people. Your guest count and so on speaks a lot to your budget. And when you have a lot of guests and you have a big vision in mind, you want to keep that in mind, especially when it comes to the venue. There's so many different factors to that, especially when it comes to the venue, catering, decor, your guests, rentals. All of that speaks within your budget. Sometimes people don't know what really goes into a budget, because they just think I just get a venue, it's per person per place. We'll come with the venue and that's it. Oh, we're not spending that much money. But there's a lot that goes into that budget that you don't know.
Exactly.
It's real.
Exactly. That goes into another one of my do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
And one of the don'ts I would say is, don't invite everyone. You know what I mean? Don't feel obligated to invite everyone. And I'm saying this from a standpoint of, sometimes individually you can feel obligated to invite certain people. And like, from my standpoint, now I'm not speaking for Billy, I'm speaking for myself. Invited because I felt obligated to, but there's some people that I didn't invite that I'm so sad that weren't there. You know what I mean? And you think about it, you just have to think about, who can you not imagine the day without?
Exactly.
If you were to have a birthday dinner, who would you invite? You know what I mean? And I always make a joke. It's no hard feelings. It's not a big deal. But I make a joke with Billy, and I say, we should have made our guest list based off of how many people wished us a happy anniversary our first year.
That's
a good one, Billy.
The same.
We did get a lot of love. We got a lot of love.
That's a foreshadowing.
It wasn't the whole 255, but
it definitely wasn't. I feel like it was more than that.
It was.
Our guest list started off at like 325, and we had to cut it down just to be realistic. And every day, Mel, you were like, that guest list.
But you see that a lot, though.
You did scale a lot. You did scale a lot.
I just can't stress enough about being mindful of who you're inviting to such a special event, because it's not just something for someone to come sip and see. That's not exactly what it is. It's something that it's your special day, and you really want to have the people around you that will be there forever, that will be praying over your marriage, sending you positive energy, sending love, and that's not there to take pictures or whatever. So going back and thinking about it, sometimes there could be some people that were invited because you feel like you have to. Well, meanwhile, there's someone else that you feel like you didn't invite, and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have shared a moment with you. And what shows such a big testament is, unfortunately, there are some people that I wasn't able to invite, but they were still praying over my marriage. Love. That's why those are the types of people. The love is there. So when someone genuinely loves and cares, they don't have to always be there. You know what I mean?
And
have traded places with
Well,
some of the
now
people
we
that
gonna
were
learn how to go
there, you
virtual,
know?
guys, because
So,
we gonna have like a Zoom online invite going on too
yeah, this
with
is the perfect
register.
time to. We're just kidding.
Gee,
But all in
you gonna
all,
have they gonna have
just
two guest lists, one in person and one on Zoom. I
no.
guess that could change when
Shout
this is
out
over.
to some of my amazing bridesmaids, maid of honors. They're
Yeah,
here.
I see Shirley, Sherry on here. I see her. Hi,
Yeah.
Cher.
All in all, if I could give any tip to any future, to any engaged couple, I would say it's so important to be mindful of your guest list. You,
Yes.
it's intimidating because during the season, people would, after being engaged, people would come up to you and say, "Where's my invitation? When am I getting invited?" And don't let that
Don't
scare
let
you.
that intimidate you. No.
Right?
Yeah,
They're
the
not
love
gonna
will be there.
they're not gonna
The love
take the
will be
bill
there.
for you. You're paying that.
Yeah.
So, and remember, ladies, I know guys don't always care about this. The bigger your guest list, the more limited you are to the vision that you can live,
You could create.
create
Yes.
special day.
Big
Because
time.
the more people, some really beautiful venues don't go over 100 or 150. So if you're in 200, 225, 250,
And the 350s is hard.
So
there's
parents,
so
just
many
chill.
venues that you're just
Billy said, your parents chill. It
Your
is so
parents
true. Because we were talking about this because I have brides that are struggling in that area as well with the guest list because it's always a factor, people, about who to invite and, how many people can accommodate in a venue and so on. And it's very important. You want to make sure you're inviting your immediate family. Let me just start off about this. The people that are close to you that really been in your life, really supported you throughout everything, and it's like on top of it, right? You have your friends, your very close friends. Oh, am I beach balling? Am I frozen again? Oh, Billy and Brenda frozen again, but I don't know. Oh boy. Let's see if it comes in or it doesn't cut the ball. Oh boy. Guys, we don't know why we're getting so much internet problems today. Billy, oh, she went out. All right, guys, stay there. They're gonna chime back in, and we're gonna go right back in. But as we were saying about like the guest list, we want to make sure that she's coming, but they're gonna come back on. I'm just waiting for them to chime back in. Hold on. There they go. All right, sorry guys. This is like number 2. We're gonna have a live blip.
Sorry about
There we go.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. The internet connection is. Oh wait, my whole screen done flipped. There we go.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, the internet connection looked like you're having some bad ones over there today. Call Comcast or AT&T, whoever it is.
Comcast. I'm calling
Boy, let me not even go there. All right. So, but what we were saying is basically when it comes to the budget, and you're also talking about your wedding planning, the guest list is definitely a struggle. Like Stephanie here, my bride, she just said I'm struggling with it. She's one of my new brides, Stephanie. And Stephanie is like, Mel, it's going to be 300. And,
We're gonna still love you.
I'm telling her, like, we need to scale it down, but mommy won't let me scale it down because mommy wants the 300. But this is what I mean. We have to try to not please everyone, as Billy and Brenda is saying. And that's one of the main reasons because I know, especially with the cultures. Let's talk about the Jamaicans, the Haitian, how we come in big numbers, right? And we have everybody. We have the church that we also got to think about because everybody in the church is thinking that they need to be invited as well, and so on. And look at Billy head. Yeah. Everybody wants to be there. But what we need to understand, and people need to understand, they're not filling our pockets, people. At the end of the day, you still have a house that you want to buy, mortgage that you may have to pay, bills and all that. So you got to think about those things. Now, if people are really supportive, they will always be there in your life, as Billy is saying. They will always pray for you, will always show you love. They will even send a gift even though they weren't invited. I have had it where the bride and groom got gifts from people that didn't even attend the wedding. And the people that attend didn't even bring $1.
Exactly. And that immediately makes me think of one of my friends from my previous institution. And I feel so bad. We were friends, we were hanging out in college and everything. And, with the whole crazy hustle and bustle of this guest list and trying to cut people out, whatever, I didn't extend an invitation to her. But she actually purchased my veil without even having an invitation to the wedding. She was just like, sending her wishes and her love and just wanted to, send a kind gesture of congratulatory love and positive energy.
Yes. And that's how you know when people really truly have your love and support. When they're not even invited, but they're still reaching out, they're still sending their love, they're still trying to help you in some way because they understand. They understand that, hey, it's a wedding day and I know budget and they know about these things, so they know they're not going to push it. Now, yes, Stephanie, I understand in the ministry, because yes, my parents are pastors. I can say that. So I understand. If I was in a situation where we're in the ministry and it's very hard because everybody in the church, you grew up with them, you were raised in the church, so everybody's looking for that invitation because somebody there either changed your pamper one day or did something. They gonna let you know. Remember when I did so and so for you? Don't let that guilt, people.
Yeah.
Don't let that intimidate you or switch you up into what is important for you. Because at the end of the day, the stress level that comes with all of that, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but for me, one thing that I think about too when I think back, it's like it's not necessarily about how long you've known somebody, but it's more so of the impact in the relationship.
Yes, there you go.
Had that relationship, because you could know somebody for so many years, for as long as you were born, and have no relationship, but you meet someone and only know them for like a year, and they like being in the world and impact your life in so many ways, and it just exudes so much positive energy. Can't imagine your day without them there. So if you ever, when you're I guess you feel like you're inviting somebody out of obligation, or you're inviting someone because you don't want someone else to be upset, or you're inviting someone because, oh, mommy, you don't want to have an issue with mommy, whatever. You should invite whoever you invite because you genuinely cannot imagine them not there. When
Exactly.
As a bride, if you ever visualize, close your eyes and you imagine yourself walking down the aisle and you can visually see views. If you can see those faces clearly, Stephanie, Sharma, close your eyes, visualize it, write down those names immediately. And if those names are on paper, it's okay. Yeah. And if they get upset at you for not inviting them to your wedding and they cut ties or whatever, honestly, that
was tell you they weren't meant to be in your life.
Exactly, because honestly, if there's some people in here that I love dearly with all my heart, and if something I know, like Ashley Juve, they don't have a choice. They can't not invite me to the wedding. But if something happened and I wasn't there, I would still be so happy for them, more than I could ever express, because I'm just happy that people that I love have love. And that's not about you. So if people feel like, oh my gosh, you didn't invite me, whatever, then you know what's up from there anyways.
Joby just said the perfect thing. That was what I was going to say too. If it's something where they want to come to the wedding, they can come to the ceremony, but they don't have to come to the reception, people.
Exactly.
If they want to be like, okay, you guys can come, but you have to understand, people, don't show up to the reception. Because if you show up to the reception, your name is on the list. Melissa Brown and her team ain't letting you in. Just like you know. Tell them, Vicky.
No, at first it's gonna hurt a little bit to try to make that decision, and because I was the person that was in ministry, so I could honestly relate to you, Stephanie. I'm just being honest. After being married and after the wedding is over, it's nothing wrong. Like I'm still happy all those people were participating. I'm sure there was even more people at the ceremony than at the wedding, at the reception itself. But when it's over, though, people that you didn't invite, because you can't invite everyone, especially us, that you're gonna feel like God has led you to so many people, and honestly, when it boils down, you're gonna feel like, oh man, I ministered. Oh man, I ministered to this group, and this person that prayed for me going through this, and in those moments they would understand when it's, so. But in the time too, I'll be the one. I don't think I don't regret anyone on my guest list, but I do about it too, like, oh, I could have went down a little bit more. We could have did like a 180, we could have did 150. So instead of you having to deal with those thoughts or those feelings later, you don't have to make it such a big deal. They should love you either way. They will love you.
Agreed.
Don't then.
Yeah. Let's talk about having the perfect timing. We had a experience with timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about the importance of timing and how timing can really affect a flow.
It can. And this is a very important. Look at one of my maid of honor zipping her mouth because she knows. Here's the thing. This is why what we're about to share is a key important, maybe not the number one, but a top reason as to why it's important to have a planner in place, day of coordinator, planner, whatever, someone who can pick up the ball when things go wrong, because
and advise.
You,
like, hey, keep it real. Like, hey, you got this. You're going to go with this person. You're going to have this. Just keep in mind.
Yes, because, well, okay,
so. I love Billy.
Some things.
Lord help me.
Things happen. And you make a plan. You can plan as much as you can. By the end of the day, something can happen. Okay? Before we go into anything, like, it's just important to have someone that when ish hits the fan, they can take control and regulate things and go according to what the vision was that you had. So when you go back to not holding back and sharing your details, it's very important that your planner knows how you expect the day to go, what you want, what's your focus, what's most important. So if anything, they make sure that whatever was most important, whatever focus still happens regardless. So initially there was a timeline issue because I was late with me and my girls. We were because certain things took longer than they should have. But prior to I couldn't put blame on Melissa because I was advised multiple times about this process of getting ready and how long things take and how many people you'll need and blah blah blah. But me being stubborn, like, oh no, they can do it, it's gonna work, no worries. But it didn't work. So, but at the end of the day, like, that's not important. Unfortunately, things happen, timelines were shifted, but Melissa took great care of us. And literally between Melissa, my maid of honors, like, oh my gosh, like, literally a freaking car accident happened that I didn't even know about until after I came back from the honeymoon. I'm like, what? The flowers were in an accident? What are you talking about? So literally
oh my God, Demo, you're on here. Oh my, you just remind me about that. I can't believe
I was peaceful and calm. My maid of honors were cursing out people like, why aren't you finished yet? You should be on this person. And then they come to me, oh, you look so beautiful and peaceful. Then they close the door. What are you doing here? So, and then, like, Ashley, she had to make an executive decision. You know what? Do her makeup now. Do the other people later. She needs to be ready. So really having the right people in place and having everyone having a good understanding of the vision is very, very important. Because unfortunately, we were an hour late. And things didn't start on time. I feel so bad because one of my list of do's and don'ts, in the do, I said, do remember your group. Because even though you might have a plethora of things that you want as the bride, the groom will have his things. And there was only 2 things Billy wanted. Just 2. He wanted great food and for us to start on time.
That's that the whole time.
Anything else, that's in every meeting, that's all he stressed. And unfortunately, that's not what happened. But Melissa was able to adjust the timeline, do different things. And another thing that I would suggest as a do is like have like a just in case budget for any overtime expenses.
Yes.
It be the car, the
it can
vin,
happen.
and even if you don't use it, at least it's there. Make sure you know what all your overtime expenses are,
Just
and
in case.
have that just in case, because you never know what can happen.
Yes.
So one big thing for us was like, even though we didn't start on time, but one thing we really wanted was for our guests to enjoy themselves. We
Right.
wanted to have, like, I don't want to say a party, but like a major celebration. We wanted to get formalities out of the way and everybody get your cinnamon drops and turn up. Eat,
Right.
fill up your stomach and turn up. And that's exactly what happened. So despite the craziness that may have taken place, despite the fact of us not starting on time and things of that nature, what was most important took place was that our union, we got married, we're here,
Yes.
amazing, and we got to celebrate with our loved ones, and you and your team was able to really streamline and make sure what was important to us still took place, and
So
everything was
What Billy's saying right now.
what time did you how much time did you suggest to Brenda that she needed to get ready? Because
Woo!
because you asked us that question. I got to make sure I need to understand the situation, because she's like,
Remind me again. So Brenda's bridal party was, what was it, 8? How many girls was in your party? It was 8, right?
No, you
Yeah.
suggest
And I said to her that each makeup needed 45 minutes to an hour. So we needed to start and we needed to have an extra assistant, right? And these are some of the things that, and we talked about this, guys, if you weren't on the show, with Angel of Beauty and those makeup artists and there's hairstylists, which confirm what I'm saying right now. When you're going through your getting ready and you have a bridal party, whether it's 6, it's 8, it's 10, it's 12, hair and makeup takes 45 minutes. Makeup alone takes 45 minutes to an hour each phase. It could be the simplest of phase. It doesn't matter. It takes 45 minutes to an hour, right? Now, when you have somebody coming in to do face and they're saying they're going to do it and there's only one person doing it, no. We need to get you started like early morning, get up at 6 a.m., they're already there set up and knocking the first face out at like 6 to make sure that they're on time, right? So, Billy, yes, we had our timeline, and yes, but the person kind of assured Brenda that they were able to get it done.
So here's the thing, like, yes, Mel made it very clear that there should be more than one person, for sure, handling whether it be hair, makeup, whatever the case may be. As far as beauty goes, needs to be more than one person. And that was made clear. And for me personally, out of personal preference and, being given a timeline, and I was, it said that this can work in this amount of time. So this is what's expected. So if you can do something, then I think that you can do it because you totally can. So, I don't doubt that,
Yes.
At the end of the day, despite our experience, from me being a past bridesmaid and attending many weddings and having other brides that are my friends, it's imperative that at least every 3-4 girls have a makeup artist. So it's I'm sorry, one person cannot, or makeup artist or hairstylist or wardrobeist, whatever, that's going to help you get beautified. It's important that every 4 girls have a person. So that will ensure, regardless of what's going to happen, everyone will be ready with their hair, makeup, clothing, shoes, nails, whatever, in advance, because it's just too much pressure to put on one person.
It's really too much pressure.
Someone, whether it be hair, makeup, whatever, be, and they say that they're going to come by themselves, and they don't tell you that they can give you, they're going to bring a staff or an assistant or whatever, it's very important that you either just hire them for yourself and your maid of honors, whatever, and then you break it up so that just to make sure that everything happens accordingly. Because honestly, Mel, I get what you're saying about if you have to wake up at 6 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. But at the end of the day, if your wedding is in the evening and you want to be mindful of your bridal party, you don't want them to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're going to go home at 1 o'clock in the morning. If you can hire multiple, but listen, if you can hire if you can hire multiple people, so they can wake up at like maybe 9, 10, whatever, and everyone be done in a timely manner. I feel like that's more effective. So
if you have the budget to do so, yes, I would agree with you about that.
Time, then rest assured that.
But our reality was we had the money to get.
No, that's not the reality. The reality was that we were told that everyone was ready by
yes, that was the reality. We were told it was going to be that right.
Enemy, you're right.
So
you're right.
there's no enemy. So it's not that I was negligent and just,
no, and this had nothing to do with the bride people. It was more on a level of a communication where the vendor itself needed to take that responsibility and that ownership. Because you yourself is a professional in that craft. You should be able to advise a client when they come to you and tell you how many bridesmaids I have and how many faces you're going to be doing, what your services require and what you will need. When you fail to do so, you can't expect the bride to take responsibility of that because you failed your job in informing the bride of exactly what you need. So one advice I would say to you guys is make sure when you're asking these questions and you're doing your research and your homework, that you're asking these proper questions, that you're finding out whether they're going to come with an assistant, whether they're going to have somebody come in to clean the brushes, or who's somebody that's prepping the face, or something and she's doing the final touches, or she has somebody that's going to be doing a certain amount of girls and she's doing a certain amount of girls. You want to make sure that these are the questions that you guys are asking as well when you're going through the process. Now, we have about 7 minutes before Instagram cut us off because they love to cut us off in an hour. But some of the things that the 10 reasons why we said, and I wanted to share this, and I want you guys to chime in and let me know if I'm right or wrong on this.
Okay.
Save time. 10 reasons to hire a wedding planner. We talk about save time. Pay attention to detail, right? Stay on budget. Have a perfect timing. Have amazing vendors, which you can get your discounts from, so that works. Because when you work with a planner and her vendors, you get her discount. That's key, right? Enjoy the day more, which is true. You don't have to worry about running around, trying to figure out who's what, and people calling and buzzing your phone. Brenda was there to deflect that, and your bridesmaids and your maid of honor was there to assist you with that as well. So you didn't have the opportunity to worry about what's going on at the venue or anything else. You were just relaxed and getting ready to come meet your future husband. Leave nothing behind, which is true. We don't want you guys to leave anything, forget anything. That's why on the rehearsal date, we will always say to you guys, whatever you purchase, whether your cake knife sets, all your different favors, everything, pack it up, bring it to the rehearsal so we have it. So we are there to set it up the day up. So those are some of the key things to also think about. We talked about fresh ideas, fabulous accommodations. You know, we'll help you find a proper limo, hotels in the area that can work towards your budget and accommodation for the photographer for you guys to take your pictures and get it in writing. As Brenda said in the beginning, we talk about contracts because a lot of times we don't review contracts. We don't look over those things. And when it comes down to it, we end up getting these surprise factors of the overtime. You weren't sure about what overtime was or how much it cost. Bam, you got hit with a bill. You came in, you were there with such and such. Contracts have all these different clauses for cancellation, for damages, for overtime, all these things that if you don't pay attention and really read the fine print and the detail, you can always find yourself in a situation. So it's very important to have a planner that's going to be able to review those legal contracts. Because not only is she there to support you and your fiance here in the wedding process, to make sure that they protect you in the long run. So if any situation comes up where it could be a vendor situation, it could be a, it could be anything. We are there to protect you and make sure that we're able to fight the battle for you when it comes down to it. So you want to make sure that these are some of the things that your planner, your coordinator is doing as well. Get a day of coordination time, and Billy and Brenda would tell you, when Brenda was like slacking on getting the timeline done, I had to bring her in, have her sit down a whole day with me, right, Brenda? And we knocked out a whole lot of stuff. We got the songs down. We got the final vendors that we needed to make sure that we confirmed and paid off. We did all of that, and we had our timing perfectly. So these are some of the things that you want to make sure that you're looking for as well. So make sure you're doing that, people, and make sure that your people are also listening to you, the couple.
I have two.
Go ahead, give me your two.
Okay, I have two. Well, my last thing was well, I'll say at the very end, but one of my other was do get comfortable with your planner. Like, your planner is a resource to you. And Mel, oh my gosh, you literally sprinkled and touched my heart. Just because, like, if in so many different ways, but one way specifically is just that, you know, ladies, future brides, Steph, Sharma, when you purchase your wedding dress, you can go and try on dresses that you want to buy on days, the weekends. But once you buy that dress, then they have fittings. A lot of boutiques only allow fittings after dress is purchased during the week. And then they have executive corporate hours, so they close at like 5 o'clock and whatever. So my dress was purchased way behind Jesus, really far away.
Way beyond.
Yeah. Dude, she had the rush hour going all the way out there.
All my appointments were at like 1 o'clock or, you know, like noon, just unreasonable times for working professionals. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I might have to do this by myself. I'm going to be going here by myself. But Mel came to every appointment with me. Every time Mel learned how to bustle it for me. And, you know, like all my girls, they got work. Some live in Orlando. You know, they can't be driving 3 hours road trip to go to try on dresses with me. And I understood that. But no, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you knew my appointments in advance and you were there. You knew how to bustle me. You knew just everything. And I just appreciate you so much for
welcome.
Going above and beyond, because you don't have to. And I read the contract. That wasn't a part of it. Go get dressed with you. Go to the wedding place. Just did that, just, you know, extra comfort. And just like even something so silly like the day before the wedding, I got my nails done, and I don't know if I was just nervous about the big day.
Oh, yeah, you weren't happy.
And this may seem so minuscule to somebody else.
Brenda, let me hang up and we go back right on. People, come right back on, because it's about to cut us off, and I want us to continue talking. So let me hang up and then you go right back on again, okay?
All right.
All right, hold on, guys. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry. We will make her come back on. There she goes. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. We're going to go right back in. There we go. All right. Awesome. There we go. We get back in, because I didn't want us to get cut off and you were saying some good stuff. So go ahead.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, this may seem really silly, but like the day before, I got my nails done and it wasn't what I wanted. Like, I had him fix it multiple times and it still wasn't it. And I just ended up leaving with it. And I don't know if I was just overreacting, being dramatic.
Oh, I remember that day.
Or if it was just like pre-wedding day jitters, but I was
Mel was my
distraught.
Okay,
I was so sad and I was like crying, whatever, and like Mel called me. She was like, Mel was already calling me just to check in. Just regular check-in calls. Like, I got to call every day leading up to the wedding. We just talked every day, and you can't get rid of me now. So,
I know.
2 years ago. Mel was just calling to check in. I was like, hey, how are you? And I'm just trying to be superwoman. And I'm just like, I'm fine. And she's like, no, you're not. Tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like my nails. And I just said, and it was just, this might seem so silly, but for me, the fact that like called her nail person and was like, let's see if we can get you in for an appointment. What can we do? What's wrong with it? Da, 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 da. And like, even though it looked good to her, but she felt like I wasn't happy. People had to do whatever it took to make sure that I became and felt satisfied and didn't go into the next day sad over my nails.
Billy, I was making sure the nails was right. I called Lucy. I was like, Lucy,
I'm
fit Brenda in.
I'm so grateful because I don't know what I would have done. I'd have just been like, okay. Now she showed me the like, it was just like, all right, what's the problem? But
yeah. So from
being
there with me, trying on my dresses and always learning to how to freaking bustle me, and just being there when I was having a panic attack about my stupid nails. That's like so minuscule. Anything that's important to me was important to you. So, like I said, a big do when hiring a wedding planner, I strongly recommend Mel. Just be willing to build that relationship with them and be willing to let them know like what's going on, because they can help you. They can.
Yes.
You don't have to be like one of the don'ts was don't be a superhero. Don't feel like you have to do everything by yourself. Let them take that stress off of you and just let them carry that burden. Melissa, seamlessly, and I just appreciate you so much. Like,
I appreciate letters. I love you guys. I see Lynn and all of them on here chime in. And for everybody that's on here, I do appreciate you guys saying that, because you know, we were talking to Rashawn Rose Bridal yesterday, and they were saying the same thing. They were like, Mel is the only planner that comes in and do dress shopping and dress fitting with all our brides and so forth. My bride sometimes asks me, Mel, can I put you in a group chat with the bridesmaids? And I'm always like, okay, no problem. What do you want me to do? He said, I just need you to keep them on track. I feel like they're going off track and I need help. And, you know, and I'm like, okay. So I go into the group chat and I'm listening and I'm making sure that thing is going on. And I'm like, you know, yeah, let's get this together. This is what we want to make sure, you know? And it's amazing when I go to, and the reason why people might say, well, man, that's not in your job description to do. It's not about the job description. She said it perfectly. It's about the relationship and the bond you have with your planner. For me, I connect with my brides. They're like my little sisters when it comes down to it. So is it a little sister, big sister, you name it. They become a family. And for me, I want to make sure that everything goes right and everything goes smoothly for them. Not only am I there to relieve the stress, and that's what a planner should do for you, is to relieve that stressful moment, is that you're supposed to be a shoulder. The one that's not going to be the one that's going to give you the negative vibe of feedback in your ear all the time. They're supposed to be the one that be able to listen, to help take off some of those like negative energy or feelings that you may be feeling, and then you can come and confide in. Because you may not be able to go back and confide with one of your maid of honor, because at the time you might be going through a little situation with one of your bridesmaids, your maid of honor, family member, or whatever. Your bride should be able to say, Mel, can I call you? Which all of you guys do. Can I call you? Because Troy be like, Mel is like psychiatrist number 101. You know, she be up, she don't sleep. You guys call, I pick up the phone, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, let's talk about it. But it is, you know, it's supposed to be a joyful experience and so forth. I hear somebody talk about the cake tasting. Listen, let's not go into the cake with you. Billy, you remember this cake?
My maid of honors are in here like testifying, okay? So Ashley is even like, man, she was compelled to leave a review too as a maid of honor. And June, one of my maid of honors, is like, man, we had that cake tasting and that Clemas cake, Hennessy cake.
Hey.
That cake.
Billy,
Oh,
I remember that cake. To this day, I was like, Brenda cake, that cake is one of the cakes that we went so many different looks with. When we made cake, it was so funny with Brenda. When it came out to the royal wedding, Brenda came back and said, Matt, I want my cake like the royal wedding, like with the queen.
Here's the flower. She's like,
I
look,
wanted it. I
this the
wanted
color
a decorative
scheme,
cake. I didn't want them towels. I wanted them.
but
Like,
that delicious.
it was delicious.
The
But
look was
Yeah. So
tasty.
somebody asked, how long have I been an event planner? Because one of the brides last night said, when are we going to hear about you, Mel? And I was like, when
Yeah.
one of you guys called me and interviewed me, then I'll do it. So I have been an event planner going on 20 years. It started in the fashion industry. I used to be a producer for Fashion Week and in New York. And I used to produce fashion shows for Project Runway designers, emerging designers, and so on. And that transcended into doing event planning. So when it came down to it, which fashion is a big love of mine, and that's why I love to go to dress shopping because it's just in me. I just love to see my brides in their dresses and how it fits them and the joy that they get because I too was a designer. So when just to have that experience with them is always amazing. I went into the industry, started the wedding planning in New York. I remember my first bride, Ileana and Ralph. They were a Spanish couple. I remember them and it was just like, oh my God, I want this thing. It was at Staten Island, and we did such a it was myself, my partner Nye, and from then it was just like, oh my God, I'm in love. I thought I was in love with the industry when it comes to event planning. But then when I came to the wedding part of things, it was just like, hey, I'm in love. I'm running with this thing. It was just amazing just to see. Not only was it the bride and the groom, but also the parents, the love, the joy that everyone had on their face. When they walk into the room, it was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I fell in love with that expression, that whole emotional feel that you get. And to this day, that feeling gets me every time. And it's one of the reasons why, as a planner myself, I tend to go above and beyond for my brides. You know, if they have a vision and a look, I always try to find some way to incorporate something that they wanted that they couldn't do, but bring it and surprise them in some way. Always try to find a way to kind of get it done. And, you know, I am down to the T. Like I'm always willing to make sure that you guys are absolutely happy with everything. That's one of my key factors.
You the real deal.
I do. Billy gave me. I remember the night of the wedding. I don't know. I said Billy was doing the review thing, and we watched that review still, Billy. So seriously, when you were taking Mike from Brenda, he was like, "Let me talk," and Billy got on the mic, and Billy literally gave a feedback. He said, "Take it from me, man. I'm the group. All right."
I'm telling
you. What, Melisa? He said, you said a comment about if you don't want the stress, and you and another group just did it the other day, which was Jonathan. He's Italian. I just finished his wedding. They were Asian and Italian. And he said, listen, man, if you want no stress and you want your bride happy, get Melisa. Because I'm telling you, you felt like you was like going through the breeze because you didn't have too much to worry about. You were just chilling.
Like I was big chilling. That's what Brenda had to do. And I'm telling you, right, that's your pep talk. That's your pitch right there. You're like, baby, if you don't want me to be talking in your head all the time, I need Melisa.
Yeah, because
I honestly, G, and keeping it 100 with everyone, honestly, like she really did take that part off. Like it was more of a, you know, like she made it a lot easier, you know, for both of us. She was that middle ground and just kind of kept us together in the whole process because wedding planning is stressful.
Yeah, you know? And honestly, because like when I previously mentioned how I hired a planner first and ended up having to let her go, I had such a sour taste from that experience that I was be like, you know what, I'm not going to spend money on this and I'm going to figure it out by myself. And in that maybe week or two of me trying to figure it out by myself, it drove Billy crazy. so easily once I found a stress
Lord
reliever, a
knows.
way to not drive Billy crazy. He was like, "How? I don't care. Pay the deposit right now."
Melissa came
Like
like a
whatever.
guardian
So
angel.
yeah, once after that first,
Y'all don't understand. Lord hears the prayers of a righteous man.
yeah, after that first, for sure, I knew like this is
You
where
do
it was
not
at.
need that
Like I
stress.
needed this, and my day was definitely going much, much, much better.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on here and really share your experience with everyone that's on here. You guys have been absolutely amazing. You guys are the joy, one of my best couples. I tell you, I had to have you guys first on the show. Other brides, please don't get jealous. You know, I just had to. Okay?
But
And some,
before we go, of course, 100%, we recommend Mel for sure. Like 100. But I would be remiss if I were to leave here without doing like a vendor shout out.
yes, come on, let's do it, Brenda.
Oh my gosh, like from Chef Mimi to Sandra, and oh my gosh, Reem Photography.
Yes.
Okay, Reem Photography. Uh, Let me tell you something.
At
It's not
Lux
even
Bakery,
just because of
at Sandra Flowers,
It's not even
at
just. It's not even
Photography.
just when I talk about Reem. It's not just because of the quality of our pictures, which were immaculate. I can
My
grab
dog
our
does
wedding
it.
album that's so immaculately stunning and
Man, I'll grab it right
huge.
now.
It's not just about that. So, because of the timeline issue that we talked about, we weren't able to take the pictures that we wanted to take.
Yeah, my favorite picture. Oh my God.
We weren't able to take some of the
So
pictures
beautiful.
that we wanted to take that day, and we were going to end up finishing the day without any portraits of Billy and I. And they were able to do a day after shoot, and that
Yes.
out phenomenally. Like, oh my god,
Yes.
there's like a picture of me that people love when I'm laying on a staircase, and
On
that
the
was
staircase. Oh my God,
he
that
was
picture is
like
fire.
he was
Fire.
like lay down right there. And Sandy, oh my gosh, between Kareem and Sandy, it's mind blowing. Sandy dressed me, okay.
Yes.
She, her and her husband, like they're Dream Photography. When you see Dream Photography, that's Kareem and Sandy. And like we mentioned, timeline. So things, there was a lot of hustle and bustle. Like the way that things were supposed to go, they didn't go that way. And Sandy was not there to dress me. She was there to make sure the photography goes accordingly. But she dressed me. She buttoned me up, zipped
Big
me
shout
up,
out.
and in my dress. So that was amazing. Chef Mimi, like me and this deconstructed cake, I was so set on it, and she was able to deliver. Sandra,
DJ Daddy Fat
DJ Daddy Fats.
on the
Oh
ones and
my
twos.
gosh.
Melissa,
OMG. To
We,
this
Daddy
day.
Fat
oh my
wedding.
gosh.
You came through. You get majority of our vendors came from Melissa, by the way. So that's a big shout out because
Yes.
she knew who to go to and how to make it work with what we were where we were priced at, and hands down, like DJ
Yeah, Daddy
Fats
Fats
held it
had
down.
the party jumping. Like,
Oh my God, that party was lit.
that's a picture of our wedding people guests, and they're just so lit. Like, you see people with just on the dance floor going
On
crazy.
the dance floor the whole time. Like literally amazing. He had that party going. I even got on the mic. I never accept myself to be on the mic talking about I'm MCing that night. I look back on videos, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, all we wanted was a time for, and oh my gosh, shout out to Artisan Foods Catering.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It was where our reception took place,
Right?
as well as the cuisine.
Really team.
I was very keen on I really wanted Haitian to bring a finer feel to Haitian cuisine.
Yes.
And till this day, people are still talking about the food.
Yes.
I was able to cut the Haitian. I didn't want a salad as a starter course. I had Haitian macaroni as a starter course,
Mhm.
and they were in there and they figured it out. Like they had to, they had the macaroni, they had the decollete, they had all of the signature Haitian things. That's what I wanted. I know what kind of people I invited, and I want to feed them what I know that they. And Artisan was able to customize a never made before menu just for our wedding, that had that Haitian feel with the épices and the Haitian seasoning, and played it very nicely. I didn't want like the to go Haitian restaurant feel. I wanted it to be elegant and played it up very nicely. They delivered above and beyond, and I'm telling you, till this day, people are talking about even our photographer. He's just like, "Yo, I'm still thinking about that food, man." Like, you know.
Man, Reem came back to me and was like, Melissa, you can see if you can get me another one of those macaroni and cheese. And I said, let me see. I went back in the kitchen and I was like, hey, I got you. I got you. He was so excited.
Right. Artisan Foods make sure all the vendors
I see you, Modern Luxury Magazine. Good.
One time.
So yeah, oh, somebody said they still thinking about it too. I know we echoing a little bit. But I agree with you guys. It was absolutely amazing. All the vendors, shout out to Flowers by Sandra, Lux Cakery with Chef Mimi, Artisan Food, DJ Daddy Fats. We had our rentals. I know you guys CJ Party Rentals, and we had a few other rental companies as well. Shout out to my team, my girls. Deborah, tell you all about it. Oh my God, my Deborah that got in a car accident delivering your bouquet flowers.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, Debo's the real one.
The real.
Love for life.
Deborah, we love you.
Troy's our guy.
Hey, big shout out to RTW Photography as well. Much love out there. Much love, man. But definitely, like, we had a great team. That's what is really like, hands down, my wedding is something that I'll never forget, and that's thank you. So anybody that's planning their wedding, you guys already know what to do. If you're dreaming about it, think about it. Like, definitely proper planning prevents poor performance, you know. And thankfully for listeners, you're doing something amazing. We really appreciate that. Like, even in the wedding industry right now, everything that's going on in these hard times, just educating everybody on just what they could be doing, how to really strategically plan the wedding. That, like you said, everything goes accordingly, and their dream can come true. You can actually plan your perfect wedding if you have the perfect team. And
that's absolutely true. And that's one of the reasons why we've been doing this for the past couple of weeks, especially introducing you guys to the vendors and giving you the knowledge that you need to know what to do during a planning process. Because what we find out, and what I've been experiencing a lot, is that a lot of brides don't really know what goes into wedding planning, and they become very overwhelmed and stressed. And when you don't have a proper team and you don't have the proper vendors on staff, it can be very chaotic as well. You know, you want to make sure that you have a team that's solid, that they know Melissa. You know, when it comes to my team, they said, Mel know what she's doing. She's setting the time, and she's setting our setup list at time of arrival. They're there. They know exactly what to do. My team is there, and I can feel confident to know that I can step away for a minute and know that I'm coming back and things is going to be the way it's supposed to be. Right. So, you know, you want to have that kind of trust and confidence when you're booking your vendors as well. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that's been on here sharing all your love. All the bridesmaids, I know you all out here that have been showing your love. I see the messages. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys as well. It means a lot hearing it from you too, about your experience with myself, and also, you know, Billy and Brenda for sharing their experience through their planning process. So it gives you guys a little bit of information as well of what to do, the do's and the don'ts, when it comes to planning your wedding.
Yeah, and like one thing I can say, I know Sharma was on here. She's new age. If she's still here, congratulations. And one thing I can say for sure is there are options out here. There's people who can plan a wedding, whatever, make it look beautiful. But there are some things that are, and I feel like Melissa, like literally that level of care, that level of consideration, and not just caring about like getting paid or whatever, or what's going to look nice on your page, genuinely having our best interests at heart, that literally sets you apart, and I can say that because I experienced something else. You know, I was around another planner before booking you, and literally you made me believe in a planner again because I genuinely
for real though
was gonna. I was gonna do it by myself, you know, and I just really cannot thank you enough for not even just for me, just my friend Jessica that I sent over to you. You know, like I have no issue referring as many brides to you as possible, not just because I know that you're gonna do more than just get the job done. You do everything that you do with so much passion and consideration, and we love you so much, and we continue to pray for you, and I just thank you for doing what you do, not just for I don't know, like not just for a paycheck. It's not just about that. For someone mentioned before, you do it with so much passion, and just genuinely appreciate you so much. And
you're welcome, my love.
Everything.
I see somebody asked me a question in here.
What they ask you?
Mel, which bride do you find it easier to work with? The bride that has planned every single thing down to the T, or the bride who has no idea where to start? Both.
It makes it fun, right?
It makes it fun for me. Here's the thing, people.
That's who I was talking about. Who was killing?
Yeah, hi, Reeve. So here's the thing, people. Brides that come to me in different levels of the planning process. I have brides that don't have nothing done, and it's basically I love it because then I go venue scouting. I'm then going to do my vendor referral, my sit down, my cake tasting. I'm doing everything. And I love it. I get in my car, and as Brenda was telling you earlier, I travel. When then you have the brides that will come to me and say, Mel, I got my venue, I got my photographer, I say, okay, great. Let me see the contracts. Let me see who you pick. Let's have a consultation. Let's sit down. Let's review everything so I can see who you pick. 9 out of 10 all the time, brides always choose the vendors that are on my preferred list. I've noticed that a lot in South Florida. If it's not Reed, it's Travis, it's Dominique, it's Jules. They have they pretty much have people that I already know. It's makeup artists. They will have Tia. They will have Hair Chemistry. They will have Bianca. They will have they already have people that are watching. And then sometimes I have brides that are like, oh, I've been watching you for years. I've been stalking your page. I know all your vendors. I just want you to know. Like I've been stalking your page. I see your work. I love your work. Now I'm here. I need you. And it goes both ways for me, guys. I have no real preference on the type of bride I work with. I just enjoy a bride that one of my key things, and Brenda would tell you this, and I said this to her. One of my key pet peeves, and it's also on my website, trust is key for me. You have to have trust when it comes down to me. Trust me to do the job. Yes, I may have the brides that like to have their hands on everything. Brenda was one. I ain't gonna call her out, but true. She was, and then she released herself and gave me the opportunity to kind of bring in what we needed to do. So I do have those brides. I'm not, and some of them are on here too, that they like to have their hands on involved in everything, and they don't know how to really let loose, sit back, and let me do. Now, when it comes to that, it's just simply fine, guys. I literally I'm able to really let the string loose and like cut down, and we get to know each other, and the synergy starts to click. Once you click with your wedding planner, you start freeing up yourself, and you're going to see all the text messages and everything start flowing in. You're like, Mel, can we do something? I'm like, sure, no problem. Mel, now you're allowing yourself to let the planner really do her job. If you're hiring a planner and you're still doing the job, then I don't know why you hired the planner.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Ask Brenda what I used to always tell her. Why ain't you hit up Mel to do it? Like, did you hit up Mel yet? Like, ask Mel about that. Like, do that. That's what.
And that's just that's just a testament to the caliber of a planner that you are, just because I feel like you said, you can work well with both types of brides, the bride that knows exactly what she wants and the bride that doesn't know what she wants.
Exactly.
So not everyone can do that, and your ability to really be able to build that synergy and really understand the couple, not even just the bride but the couple,
The couple.
that
Exactly.
that's 5 stars.
So I have a question for you. So, all
Yes.
right, so we know we planned our wedding in 6 months, but you handled it with such grace, and you like had it. You knew what to do. You knew how to do it. What was missing. What to fix. So I knew you probably worked on something shorter, or maybe I don't know. Like, what's the shortest time frame you had to plan a wedding, or help plan
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay. So I had to plan a wedding in 3 weeks. It was crazy too. It was in Atlanta. Location had to change. Venue, food, everything had to change. Literally, I got on a call with the bride. She was literally pretty much going through a nervous breakdown at the time. And I said, okay, what do you have? And then she sent me the location where she had, and she said, everything is going wrong. Everything is going wrong. I just can't do. I said, what did you pay so far? And she said, well, I paid a deposit. I'm supposed to pay the difference this week, but everything is just not flowing and I need help. So I said, well, you know, for me to come there, it's destination. Atlanta is considered destination for me. So she's like, I don't care. I want you. I need you out here. So we went. I took a trip, saw the location. I said, all right, this is not going to work. We lose the location. That same weekend, I booked a new venue, coordinate the menu, updated the save the date, the actual website, because she did a wedding website, thank God. So we had to go on there, update the wedding website, put all the accurate information up there, send emails out to all of the guests that were coming. So, and then I had to do a full layout, reach out to all the vendors in the area that she was looking at, change the decor look.
That's not even your area. So you had to go to Atlanta and do all that. Wow.
I went there for like a weekend, got the venue and the most of the important stuff out, like the rentals and stuff out, came back, and then I did all the other stuff from town. The crazy part is she called me when I was in Jamaica.
Wow.
I was on vacation, and I think it was my birthday time.
Wow.
I was on vacation. She called me, and I was like, it's so crazy right now because I'm on vacation, and it's my birthday. And she was like, I'm so sorry. But I said, no worries. And then I said, hold on 1 second. So I stepped aside. I had a talk with her, and I said, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow when I'm more downtime. And I took a day and kind of talked to her until I'll be back in town. I'll come in and I'll do what I have to do. To be honest, it was the most interesting wedding I did. But everything, to this day, I wish I had the video. I will show it to you guys. She sent me a video with her and her fiance after the fact, like, giving the review and saying how amazing everything was. I think if you go on my page, it's on there. It was a wedding that was done for Melisa and Benicio. And everything changed within a week, and we were able to set up, get everything done, coordinate. People were there, and it was done. Now, if it was a crazy guest count number, I think it would have been a little bit different.
What was the guest count?
The guest count number was like below 100.
Wow.
It was about, I think we were at 90 something. She was gonna have like 100, but she had about 90 something. Now, if it was like a 200, like y'all,
It'd have been like,
All right.
it'd have been a little bit different.
It was
in 3 weeks. But it was an experience. That's definitely one to do. I had 3 weeks, I had a month, I had 2 months.
wow.
Yeah, and you know, it's always somewhere where the bride may have some stuff done, and then they're breaking down and they just can't do it anymore. So they just was like, I need help. I can't do it.
right.
But I always tell people, yes, it's good to do your planning 12 months out in advance, but to give you time to really plan, pay your payments, and you know, stretch things out and don't feel overwhelmed and stressed. But you can definitely have it done within 6 to 9 months or even less. for those people that have the budget to do it and can just throw the money in and do what they have to do and make the changes. But for you that are out there that are within a budget, it's always good to give yourself time.
Yeah.
It's never too soon to start doing your research and reach out to a wedding planner and start planning, people.
That's why I said a big don't is don't wait until last minute.
No.
Literally, I wish, well, everything, there's no regrets, but if when on September 23rd, when we got engaged in 2017, on September 24th, Melissa hired, okay? Because it would have been just so much more of just like a breeze, less stress, because there were some things that, there were some months of stress that would not have needed to be there, you know. So to be completely transparent, there's one thing that I didn't listen to Melissa about, and that was the one thing that went wrong. So every other recommendation was superb, and everything that was superb,
just listen to her.
I didn't listen, and I had my personal. So like she mentioned before, trust. That's very important to trust and understand that, like, you're having your one wedding, but as the professionals, your vendors have weddings
every weekend.
And one weekend, so they've seen it happen. They know what's happening, so just trust them. They have your best interest at heart. Be afraid to try something new. What you're being instructed to do, and let whoever you're hiring to do the job, hopefully it's Love Lifestyle Events, let them do their job.
Yeah, always trust your planning, people. And I'm not talking about me. Talk about all the planners that are out there too. Guys, do your research, do your homework. Really go out there, read reviews, follow up. If you see them do a wedding, I'm telling you, because some of my brides did that. If you see them do a wedding that you're following the bride or you're following the groom, reach out and find out, hey, can you let me know what's your experience like? You know, whatever. Can you give me some feedback or some advice about XYZ? Do your research, people. You're not the only bride that came to me in that situation. We had a few. I wanted Jessica and David on here, but Jessica is pregnant. Congratulations. Yay. Jessica and David went through something similar as well, and you know, they found me, and you advised and actually referred Jessica when she was going through the situation too. And we have, you know, a few others as well. So, you know, Daphne. Oh yes, Daphne. That's a new bride on here. So, you know, there's a few brides that I've run into where they've had situation with previous, and that's nothing wrong. You know, it all depends on what the services that they offer, and that sometimes we don't get that information. We need to really ask the information. What do you really offer? What services are included in your packages, so you're not blindsided? Because sometimes that's the problem. And I hear it a lot when brides come and sit down with me, is that they're blindsided because they weren't told or informed that, oh, I don't do that. I don't offer that service. Right. Oh, that's something that you have to do. And then they're looking at them, well, if I'm doing all of that, then I don't need you. You know, it comes down to that. So you want to make sure that you're asking the proper questions and making sure that you're doing your research, do your background check, do all that stuff, and see how you can work with that planner. Now, for me, face-to-face is a must. You know, right now we can't do the face-to-face, so we've been doing the virtual FaceTime or phone call conversation, all depends. But if you were in a regular time with me, coming to my office, sitting down, meeting me is a must. And, you know, it's something where I need to have a connection with you guys as well and feel the synergy, and I need to feel the connection between you and your partner. Because it tells a lot about you and your partner when you sit down in front of me to know what I'm really going to invest 12 months of my life and my time into as well. You understand? Because you have to understand, I'm with you guys 365 days out of the year, right? I'm saying it right? 12 months, right? 24/7. So your energy, become my energy all year. And I have to make sure that that energy is on the same wavelength. So when we sit down together, people, we definitely have to have that connection vibe. So
something that you said that I totally agree with. And search any future brides on here. Don't be afraid if you see a couple have something, or have, like, let's say you see a couple that had Melisa as a planner. Don't be afraid to slide in their DMs and say, hey, how was your experience with this vendor? How was your experience with that vendor? Honestly, I can't speak for every other bride out there, but once I experienced superior service, like Billy just waved. When I experience superior service like I have with Mel, Reem, Chef Mimi, Sandra, I am more than enthused to just glow about them and share it, because I want everyone else to have that goodness. So any future brides, don't be afraid to slide in the DMs of previous slide in the DMs. Don't be scared. I'm sure that a lot of the other brides will be more than happy to let you know how they're experiencing with those vendors. And I've definitely had that in regards to photography, layout, decor. So many have.
And also, guys, like, understand that, yes, because I hear this all the time, and me and Reem was having our live show, and somebody asks, you know, the importance, like, how, because sometimes they see me, they think, oh, Mel is expensive, right? And they may be scared to come even inquire or reach out. Yeah. Listen, information is vital. The thing. Listen, you can't get enough information, people. Don't feel scared or intimidated when you see somebody online and the caliber of work that they do that you feel like, oh, you can't afford. Yes, wedding planning is an additional expense, but it's an investment that is worth it. It definitely saves you money. It also gives you a peace of mind, and time. It saves a lot of time. It gives you the opportunity to enjoy that whole moment and engagement process with your fiance throughout the whole planning process. So for my brides that are out there that you know, looking into things, yes, you may look at them, you might reach out to them, you may tell you a certain price, but then you also need to be open-minded about what you're really invested into. And if you really know what it takes to really put on a full scope wedding, Billy and Brenda tonight was able to tell you. It's a lot. It's not something that you guys can do on your own. And if you can, fine. I heard people saying, oh, I got the family friend that's going to do it. That's all I'm going to say on that point. I'm not going to elaborate on it. Billy laughing. It's like, listen, that's all I'm going to say on that point. I'm going to leave it alone. But, you know, it's up to, oh, thank you, Ken. I appreciate you. But this is just something that you guys want to definitely understand. Like, you know, you have to really do your proper analysis when it comes to planning your wedding. Budget right, ask information, get all the details that you need, and basically enjoy it. Wedding planning is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. You're supposed to enjoy all the different time and moments together. So Brenda and Billy, I'm not going to keep you guys longer. And I know I got to get up and try to cook dinner. But Brenda, what are you cooking? Brenda, you better be cooking for Billy.
I am. I just cooked before we got on here.
My wife is
okay. All right. So I'm the only one that ain't get dinner cooked yet at 7:30. I'm sorry. But whatever. But anyway.
On the lookout, because we got events with Bill coming soon.
Okay.
He's about to start a YouTube channel where you can get a behind the scenes look on event production and different types from the catering aspect. So look out for events with Bill coming to your YouTube screen near you very soon.
Awesome, guys. I'm looking forward to that, guys. You're welcome. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. For everybody that's on here, if you want to check back on all the different vendors we've been having each and every week, Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Live with Mel. You will see all the different videos. You will see tonight's video as well up with Billy and Brenda sharing their tips and pros and cons on planning your wedding and why it's important to have a wedding planner. We thank you guys for joining us. We love you. We appreciate each and every one of you that's been out here. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for having us, Mel.
You're welcome, my love. I love you guys. Be good.